friends, Walter here. Today marks about the last video I'll make of my rifle rest assembly. We'll call it rifle rest final assembly. You'll see it again because we're going to use it to sight in the new scope on my 22. Maybe drag out some of my other guns. I'll show you what I've done to finish this project and get it close enough to what I call finished. Not really ever finished with something. There's always something else you could do. But I appreciate all your support and watching my series on producing this rifle rest. Let's hope it works out as good as I think it will. Many of you will notice I installed my vise. Stuck three lag bolts in there and bolted it down. I've had that vise laying around in the garage for, I know, 10 years. Bought it on eBay. Just never got around to putting it in. With that being said, let me show you what I've been up to. I'm going to take a suggestion of one of my viewers. Put some paraffin on this thing. The outer board that I had on there, I didn't like that joint. It's a little crooked and it was binding. So I made a new outside part. I haven't tightened it yet. Got a lot less play in there. And it's sliding pretty good, but I'm going to put a little wax on here and see if it makes it a little easier. Probably put some on the threads of this screw too. So for the 4th of July, I'm tinkering in the basement. It's too hot to be working outdoors. Well, yes, I could be slicking up a surfboard, but I ain't. Might not make a bit of difference, but we're going to find out. This screw works a lot better with a little wax on it. Alright, I've stained the new outer block that I put on the yoke assembly and cut a hole in it. Now why would he cut a hole in it? Well, that's going to be my stop. So here's a piece of wood I can stick in there. That works like a brake pad. You know, the piece of metal I used on the first experiment, I cut it up, welded up. eye bolt on it. Just used a little squawk box welder I got out in the garage, and it didn't penetrate on the thicker metal very good, but it was burning up the nut, but I got it stuck on there. The little nut was melting and the metal wasn't getting really hot enough to, but I got it gummed on there. I'll tighten that with a wrench later, but that's the way it attaches. So once you've elevated your scope up and down, your rifle up and down to where you want it in height, to eliminate this plate, you just tighten this thumb screw, which pushes that brake pad I made up against the yoke and firms it right up. If I put the bolt up against it, it would mar the wood. And I've got this lined with wax. I might have to put a metal backing on that brake pad, but it works pretty darn good. I kind of like the way my thumb screw assembly come out, even if it ain't exactly right in the middle. That steadies it up quite a bit. So with my rifle on there, I'll make a small sandbag to lay in there to help steady the rifle. Well, we're going to call it finished. And next you see us with this rifle assembly. Maybe we'll be trying it out on one of my rifles. I appreciate you watching my video. If you decide to make one of these rifle rests, I ain't got no plans for it, but just a little common sense really. I'll give you general dimensions. .20.5 inches high, 19.5 inches wide, made with rough sawn oak, 6.5 inch boards by 1 inch. I need to put a rope into this hole here and attach it to my yoke because I don't want it to get lost. I'll drill a hole, make a little lanyard type thing. Be more of a decoration really. Now we need to come up with a stencil or something. Walter's rifle wrist. I never did put my spring back on there, and I might. The only thing left to do is to find a longer bolt that I can put a handle on for down here, and I will get to that as soon as I get to the hardware store. Thanks for watching, my friends.